Today we are discussing about Flanders interaction analysis. Flanders interaction analysis. Net A. Flanders developed a system of interaction analysis to study what is happening in a classroom when a teacher teaches. It is known as Flanders interaction analysis category system. Flanders and others developed this system at the University of Minnesota, USA between 1955 and 1960. Flanders classified total verbal behavior into 10 categories. Verbal behavior comprises of teacher talk, student talk, and silence or confusion. The 10 categories are mentioned under teacher talk, 7 categories, pupil talk, 2 categories, silence or confusion, 1 category. Meaning of interaction. Interaction refers to the process through which individuals communicate, exchange ideas, and share thoughts with each other. It involves a dynamic and reciprocal relationship where participants influence each other's responses and behaviors. Types of interaction. Verbal interaction. This involves the use of spoken or written language to communicate. It includes conversations, discussions, interview, and written correspondence. Flanders interaction analysis is a method used to study verbal interaction, particularly in educational setting, by categorizing different types of verbal behavior and their impact on classroom dynamics. Non-verbal interaction. This includes communication without words, such as body language, facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, and tone of voice. Non-verbal cues often convey emotions, attitudes, and reactions that complement or sometimes contradict verbal communication. Classroom interaction. Classroom interaction refers to the ways in which students and teachers communicate and engage with each other during lessons. This can include verbal exchanges, non-verbal cues, group work, and individual responses. Key aspects of classroom interaction include teacher-pupil, teacher-student interaction, how teachers ask questions, provide feedback, and facilitate discussion. Effective interaction helps clarify concepts and keep students engaged. Student-student interaction, peer collaboration through group activities, discussions, and peer feedback. This can enhance learning by allowing students to share different perspectives and ideas. Classroom environment. The overall atmosphere, including how inclusive and supportive it is, can impact the quality of interaction. Participation. The level of student involvement in discussion and activities which can be influenced by teaching strategies and classroom dynamics. Communication skills. Both teachers and students use various communication skills to express ideas and ask questions and provide answers. Understanding and improving these interactions can lead to more effective and engaging learning environment. Characteristics of classroom interaction. It is a practice that allows enhancing the student's skill. It helps in developing various skills in students, including critical thinking and effective communication. It improves the relationship between teacher and students. Improved relationships. It fosters better relationship between teachers and students, creating a more supportive learning environment. It describes the interaction in the classroom and it helps students to develop thinking critically and sharing their ideas. It promotes critical thinking by allowing students to share and discuss their viewpoints. The classroom verbal interaction can be made more effective. The teacher can increase student participation in his teaching. The direct behavior of teacher may be shifted to indirect behavior, which is more suitable in democratic way of life. It encourages a shift from direct to indirect teaching methods, aligning with more democratic and student-centered approaches. These characteristics highlight how interactive teaching strategies can significantly benefit both teaching and learning process. Objectives of classroom interaction. The teaching learning situation in the classroom involve interaction between the teacher and the student, ensuring meaningful communication in the target language between students and the teacher, enhancing language proficiency and practical usage. It aims at meaningful communication among the students' target language. It also aims at probing into learner's prior learning ability and his way of conceptualizing facts and ideas. Assessing prior knowledge. Explore students' existing knowledge and understanding and how they conceptualize information to tailor instruction accordingly. The practice will help the teacher to have a detailed study of the nature and frequency of student interaction inside the classroom. Analyze the nature and frequency of student interaction to understand engagement levels and improve teaching strategies. It provides a reliable assessment of what goes on inside the classroom in terms of teaching and learning. Evaluating teaching and learning provide a reliable assessment of classroom dynamics and effectiveness in teaching, helping to refine instructional approaches. Interaction analysis. Interaction analysis is a process of encoding and decoding a pattern of interaction between the communicator and the receiver. Encoding refers to the process of transforming thoughts or ideas into a communicable format such as verbal or non-verbal expression. Decoding, on the other hand, involves interpreting and making sense of these expressions to understand the underlying message and context. Encoding helps in recording the events in a meaningful way, and decoding is used to arrange the data in a useful way and the analyzing the behaviors and interactions in the classroom interaction. Encoding helps capture the raw data of communication, while decoding involves analyzing and organizing this data to reveal pattern, relationship, and insight. This process is crucial for understanding how people interact, communicate, and respond to each other in various contexts. Theoretical assumptions of interaction analysis. Predominance of verbal communication. Interaction analysis often focuses on verbal communication, assuming it plays a central role in interactions with the classroom. Higher reliability of behavior. Verbal behavior. Verbal behavior is considered more reliable for analysis compared to non-verbal cues, as it is more straightforward to record and interpret. Consistency of verbal statements. The assumption that verbal statements are consistent allows analysis to use these statements to gauge patterns and behaviors reliably. Teachers' influence. Teachers are seen as having a significant influence on the classroom environment and student interactions, which impacts the overall learning experience. Relation between teachers and students and teachers. The interaction between students and teachers is a key focus as it affects both teaching effectiveness and student engagement. Relation between social climate and productivity. There is an assumption that a positive classroom climate contributes to better learning outcome. Relation between classroom climate and learning. There is an assumption relation between social climate and productivity. The social climate of the classroom is assumed to affect the productivity and learning outcome of the students. Use of observational technique. Observational techniques are fundamental for capturing and analyzing interactions, allowing for an objective assessment of classroom dynamics. Role of feedback. Feedback, both the teachers and peers, plays a crucial role in shaping and improving interactions and learning. Expression through verbal statement. Verbal statements are considered a primary mode of expressing ideas, emotions, and feedback within the classroom setting. These assumptions guide how interactions are analyzed, emphasizing the role of verbal communication and the influence of classroom dynamics on learning outcome. Classroom interaction analysis. Classroom interaction analysis is indeed a valuable tool for understanding the dynamics of teaching and leading within a classroom. It involves systematically observing and recording the interaction between teachers and students to evaluate and improve educational practices. Dr. S.K. Thakur's definition emphasizes two key concepts: objective and systematic observation. Objective and systematic contribution. This means that the analysis is conducted in a structured manner, aiming to minimize biases and ensure that the data collected is reliable. Observes record interactions without personal interaction or subjective influence. Quantitative and qualitative dimension. This refers to capture both the content and context of interactions, qualitative as well as measurable aspects such as frequency and duration, that is quantitative. By analyzing both dimensions, educators can gain a comprehensive understanding of the classroom environment and the effectiveness of teaching strategies. Classroom interaction analysis helps in identifying pattern in teacher behavior, student responses, and overall educational process, providing insight that can lead to improved teaching practices and learning outcome. Techniques for interaction analysis. There are four important techniques to observe the interaction systematically. These are Flanders interaction analysis category system. This technique categorizes classroom communication into specific types of teacher and student behavior. It includes categories like teacher talk, student talk, and silence, and further classifies them into subcategories such as lecturing, questioning, and student responses. Flanders interaction analysis is widely used for its detailed categorization and effectiveness in capturing various dimensions of interaction. Reciprocal category system. Reciprocal category system focuses on the reciprocal nature of interactions between teachers and students. It categorizes interactions based on how responses from one party prompt responses from the other. This system helps in responding the dynamics of turn taking and the flow of communication in the classroom. Equivalent talk categories. This method involves categorizing verbal interaction based on the equivalence of communicative functions rather than the specific content. It provides a way to analyze how similar types of communication function are distributed and used during classroom interaction. Verbal category system. Flanders interaction. Verbose interaction category system categorizes verbal interaction based on specific function and the role within the communication process. It includes categories like information giving, question asking, and feedback, allowing for detailed analysis of how verbal communication is used to facilitate anything. Analysis technique is more suitable and widely used techniques in the field of research all over the world. Flanders interaction analysis category system is the most widely used and researched. It is valued for its structured approach and ability to provide detailed insight into various aspects of classroom interaction. Flanders interaction analysis category system. Flanders system is an observational tool used to classify the verbal behavior of teachers and pupils as they interact in the classroom. Purpose. Flanders interaction analysis is designed to classify and quantify the verbal behavior of teachers and students during classroom interactions. This helps in understanding and improving teaching practices and student engagement. Flanders described interaction analysis as the process of observing, recording, and counting events that occur in a situation involving interaction. Categories involves teacher talk. This is divided into several categories such as directing, that is giving directions or command, lecturing, providing information or explanation, questioning, asking questions to students, feedback, giving responses or feedback to students' answers, student talk. This includes responding, student answers to teacher questions or comments, initiating, student initiated comments or questions, silence, periods of silence or non-verbal communication. Process involves observation. The classroom interaction is observed systematically. Next, recording. Verbal behaviors are recorded in real time or from recordings. Counting. Frequency and duration of each type of interaction are counted to provide a quantitative measure. Next, application. The data collected through Flanders interaction helps in identifying patterns in teacher and student interaction, evaluating the effectiveness of teaching strategies, enhancing student participation and engagement. Flanders system is appreciated for its detailed categorization and its ability to provide actionable insights into a dynamic of classroom communication. Flanders interaction analysis category system. Number 1, teacher talk, pupil talk, silence. Teacher talk, response. Number 1, accept feeling. The teacher acknowledges and or accepts students' feeling or emotional responses. Number 2, practices or encourages. The teacher provides a positive reinforcement or encouragement to students. Accepts or uses ideas of pupils. The teacher incorporates or acknowledges students' ideas and contributions into the lesson. Ask questions. The teacher poses questions to students to elicit responses or stimulate thinking. Lecturing. The teacher provides information or explanations in a lecture format. Giving direction. The teacher gives specific instructions or direction to students. Criticizing or justifying authority. The teacher provides criticism or justifying their authority, possibly correcting student behavior or ideas. Pupil talk. Response initiation. Pupil talk in response to teacher. Student responses to questions or comments made by the teacher. Pupil talk initiated by the pupil. Student initiated comments or questions not prompted by the teacher. Silence or confusion. Periods of silence or visible confusion from students indicating a lack of understanding or engagement. FIAS categorizes these interactions to provide a structured way of analyzing how teaching and learning process unfold in the classroom. In Flanders interaction analysis, teacher talk, indirect influence, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This include indirect influence, direct influence, 5, 6, 7. Flanders interaction analysis category, teacher talk, activity, accept feelings. The teacher acknowledges and clarifies the emotional tone or feelings of student. This includes positive or negative feeling and may involve actions like nodding or providing reassurance. Number 2, praises or encourages. Activity. The teacher provides positive reinforcement or encouragement which helps to motivate students and affirm their actions or responses. Number 3, accepts or use ideas of pupil. The teacher acknowledges and incorporates students' ideas into the lesson, integrating them with their own ideas and extending the discussion. Number 4, asking questions. Activity. The teacher asks questions related to procedure or content, aiming to engage students and stimulate their thinking. Next, initiation. Number 5, lecturing. Activity. The teacher provides explanation, fact or content related to the lesson. This includes delivering information and discussing concepts in detail. Giving direction. Activity. The teacher gives specific instructions or command to guide student behavior or activities. Criticizing or justifying authority. Number 7, activity. The teacher provides criticism or justification related to authority, including correcting student behavior or explaining decisions and rules. Next, pupil talk in response to teachers. Activity. Student responses to question or comments initiated by the teacher. Pupil talk initiated by the pupil. Student initiated comments or questions where students take the lead in the conversation. Silence or confusion. Activity periods where there is silence or confusion indicating a lack of understanding or communication breakdown. These categories help in systematically analyzing and understanding various aspects of classroom interactions, which can be valuable for improving teaching practices and student engagement. Observation procedure. Observer sits in the classroom in the position best suited for hear and see the participants. Observer setup. Position the observer in a spot that provides a clear view and hearing range of the participants to ensure accurate data collection. 20 to 25 observations per minute. Minimum 3 per second. Observation frequency. Aim to record 20 to 25 observations per minute, translating to at least 3 observations per second. This high frequency ensures detailed and comprehensive data collection. Observer writes down the category numbers as they occur. Data recording. The observer should write down the category numbers which represent different observers, different behaviors or events as they occur. This means keeping track of predefined categories for the behaviors or events of interest. Additional tips. Predefined categories. Before starting, ensure that categories for observation are clearly defined to avoid ambiguity. Use a checklist or form. Consider using a standard form or checklist for recording categories to streamline the process and ensure consistency. Train observers. Ensure that observers are trained to recognize and accurately record the different categories to maintain reliability in the data. This approach will help to collect detailed and accurate observational data in a structured manner. Procedure of Flanders interaction analysis. There are two processes: encoding, decoding. Encoding process. Memorize the code number. Each category of interaction, example teacher talk, student talk, is assigned a specific code number. Place of setting. Ensure are seated in a position that allows clear observation of the classroom interaction. Recording the category number. As interactions occur, record the category number that corresponds to the observed behavior in real time. Decoding process. Categorize. After the observation period, review the recorded category numbers to identify patterns and frequencies. Next, analysis and assess the data to understand the dynamics of interaction in the classroom, such as proportion of time spent in various categories. This systematic approach helps in evaluating the quality and types of interaction between teacher and students. Encoding process. Memorize the code number, place of setting, recording the category number. Rules for observation. Rules for recording or decoding. Flanders category methods has many rules for observation without following which the observation is not possible. The observer must remember these rules. These rules help in maintaining consistency and making observations uniform. These rules are as follows. Flanders interaction analysis ക്ലാസ് ഇടപെടലുകൾ നിരീക്ഷിക്കുന്നതിനും രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുന്നതിനുമുള്ള ഒരു സമഗ്രമായ ചട്ടക്കൂടിന്റെ രൂപരേഖ നൽകുന്നു. ഈ നിരീക്ഷണങ്ങൾ സ്ഥിരവും വസ്തുനിഷ്ഠവുമാണെന്ന് ഉറപ്പാക്കാൻ നിയമങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു കൂട്ടം അത്യന്താപേക്ഷിതമാണ്. These rules are as follows. Rule number 1. If more than one type of category occurs during a 3-second period, the observer should choose the category that is numerically farther from category 5 but not category 10. Suppose the observer is in doubt whether the category is 2 or 3, we should write 2 category. 3 സെക്കൻഡിനുള്ളിൽ ഒന്നിലധികം വിഭാഗങ്ങൾ നിരീക്ഷിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിൽ കാറ്റഗറി 10 ഒഴികെ വിഭാഗങ്ങൾ 5-ൽ നിന്ന് സംഖ്യാപരമായി അകലെയുള്ള വിഭാഗം തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കാൻ നിരീക്ഷകനോട് നിർദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നു. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന്, ഒരു സെക്ഷനിൽ അനിശ്ചിതത്വമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ 2, 3 ഇതിൽ ഏത് തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കണം എന്ന നിരീക്ഷകന്റെ റെക്കോർഡ് വിഭാഗം 2 തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കണം. റൂൾ 2. The observer should not involve his personal viewpoint. നിരീക്ഷണ പ്രക്രിയയിൽ വ്യക്തിപരമായ അഭിപ്രായങ്ങളോ പക്ഷപാതങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് വിട്ടുനിൽക്കേണ്ടത് അനിവാര്യമാണ്. ക്ലാസ് റൂമിനുള്ളിൽ സംഭവിക്കുന്ന പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലും ഇടപെടലുകളിലും മാത്രമായിരിക്കണം ശ്രദ്ധ. Rule number 3. If more than one category is active in a span of 3 seconds, and then all the categories should be recorded. If after 3 seconds no category changes, then the same serial number should be repeated in the next 3 seconds. 3 സെക്കൻഡ് നിരീക്ഷണ വിൻഡോയിൽ ഒന്നിലധികം വിഭാഗങ്ങൾ സജീവമാകുന്ന സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിൽ പ്രസക്തമായ എല്ലാ വിഭാഗങ്ങളും രേഖപ്പെടുത്തണം. ഈ സമയപരിധിക്ക് ശേഷം വിഭാഗങ്ങളിൽ മാറ്റങ്ങളൊന്നുമില്ലെങ്കിൽ നിരീക്ഷകൻ അവസാനമായി രേഖപ്പെടുത്തിയ വിഭാഗം തുടർന്നുള്ള 3 സെക്കൻഡ് ആവർത്തിക്കണം. Rule number 4. If the time period of silence exceeds 3 seconds, it should be recorded under category number 10. നിശബ്ദതയുടെ ഒരു കാലയളവ് 3 സെക്കൻഡിനപ്പുറം നീണ്ടു നിൽക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഈ സൈലൻസ് ഔപചാരികമായി വിഭാഗ നമ്പർ 10 കീഴിൽ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തണം. ഇത് പരസ്പര പ്രവർത്തനത്തിന്റെ ശ്രദ്ധേയമായ അഭാവത്തെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. Rule number 5. When teacher calls a child by name, the observer is supposed to record a 4th category. ഒരു അധ്യാപകൻ പ്രത്യേകമായ ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയെ പേര് ചൊല്ലി വിളിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഈ ഇടപെടലിനെ വിഭാഗം 4 തരംതിരിക്കണം. ക്ലാസ് റൂം ക്രമീകരണത്തിൽ നേരിട്ടുള്ള ഇടപെടലിന്റെ പ്രാധാന്യം ഈ നിയമം എടുത്തു കാണിക്കുന്നു. Number 6. When the teacher repeats the student's answer and the answer is correct, that is recorded as a category number 2. This tells the student that he has the right answer and therefore functions as praise or encouragement. ഒരു അധ്യാപകൻ ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയുടെ ശരിയായ പ്രതികരണം ആവർത്തിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഈ പ്രവർത്തനം വിഭാഗം 2 രേഖപ്പെടുത്തണം. ഇത് വിദ്യാർത്ഥിക്ക് പ്രോത്സാഹനത്തിന്റെയും സ്ഥിരീകരണത്തിന്റെയും ഒരു രൂപമായി വർത്തിക്കുന്നു. ഇത് അവരുടെ ഉത്തരത്തിന്റെ കൃത്യതയെ ശക്തിപ്പെടുത്തുന്നു. Rule number 7. When a teacher listens to a pupil and accepts his ideas for a discussion, then this behavior belongs to category number 3. ഒരു അധ്യാപകൻ വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയെ സജീവമായി ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുകയും കൂടുതൽ ചർച്ചകൾക്കായി അവരുടെ ആശയങ്ങൾ അംഗീകരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഈ സ്വഭാവം നമ്പർ 3 തരംതിരിക്കുന്നു. വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ സംഭാവനകളെ വിലമതിക്കുന്ന ഒരു പിന്തുണയുള്ള ക്ലാസ് റൂം അന്തരീക്ഷത്തെ ഇത് പ്രതിഫലിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. Rule number 8. The word all is okay, yes, yeah, all right, etc. belong to the category number 2, encouragement. എല്ലാം ശരി, അതെ തുടങ്ങിയ വാക്യങ്ങൾ 2 വിഭാഗത്തിൽ പെടുന്നു. ഇത് പ്രോത്സാഹനത്തെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു നല്ല പഠനാന്തരീക്ഷം വളർത്തിയെടുക്കുന്നതിന് ഈ സ്ഥിരീകരണങ്ങൾ നിർണായകമാണ്. Rule number 9. If a teacher jokes without aiming at any pupil, their behavior belongs to the category number 2. But if he makes any joke aiming at some particular pupil, then it belongs to the category number 7. ഏതെങ്കിലും വ്യക്തിഗത വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചല്ലാതെ ഒരു തമാശ അധ്യാപകൻ പങ്കിടുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് കാറ്റഗറി 2 പെടും. എന്നിരുന്നാൽ നർമ്മം പ്രത്യേകമായ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയെ ലക്ഷ്യം വെച്ചുള്ളതാണെങ്കിൽ അത് മറ്റൊരു തരത്തിലുള്ള ഇടപെടലിനെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്ന നമ്പർ 7 ആയി വർഗീകരിക്കണം. Rule number 10. When all the pupils respond to a very small question collectively, then the serial number of category 8 is recorded. അധ്യാപകൻ ഉന്നയിക്കുന്ന നേരായ ചോദ്യത്തോട് എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളും ഒരേ സമയം പ്രതികരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഈ കൂട്ടായ ഇടപെടൽ വിഭാഗം 8 ആയി രേഖപ്പെടുത്തണം. ഇത് ക്ലാസ് റൂമിലെ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഇടപെടലിന്റെ ചലനാത്മകത ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുന്നു. Decoding. Number 1. Entire series begins and ends with the same number. Add 10 both in the beginning and end. 10 in the beginning and 10 in the end. Number 2 pairs. 10, 6. 10, 6. 6, 9. 9, 10. 10, 5. 5, 10, 5, 5, 6. 6, 10. 10, 4. 4, 9. 9, 10. 3. Row is used in first number. Row is used in first number. First number is row. And column for second number. 10 is row, 6 column. Interpreting the result. Total number of column and percentage of each column is calculated. 10, 6. For 10, 6. 6, 10. Next 6, 9. 6, 9. Every pair overlaps the other pair. Total tallies of the matrix n. that is 10, 6, 10, 6, 6, 9, 9, 10. So in the matrix 9 minus 1, that is one less number is marked. In the above example, n is equal to 10, n minus 1, that is 9 numbers will be marked. For example, in the pair 10, 6, the number 10 represents row and the 6 represents column. Every pair overlaps the other pair. Total tallies of the matrix n. In the matrix n minus 1, that is one less number is marked. In the above example, n is equal to 10, n minus 1, that is 9. That is 9. Constructing interaction matrix. After encoding or observation procedure of interaction, the coded behavior are written in 10 into 10 tables. This 10 rows into 10 column table is known as matrix. The category numbers of the record sheet, the tabulated in the matrix table. Each number is entered in the form of sequence pairs being used twice. First as the first numbers and second as second number. Incorporating the number 10 as specified, we begin and conclude the sequence with the number 10. This means that our original observations need to be modified accordingly. The original sequence provided is 6, 10, 7, 5, 1, 4, 8, 4. By adding 10 at both the start and the end, we arrive at modified sequence 10, 6, 10, 7, 5, 1, 4, 8, 4, 10. The row of the matrix represent the first number and column the second number. For example, the observation recorded is 6, 10, 7, 5, 1, 4, 8, 4. Here the beginning and the end of the coding should have the same number of the categories. It is tradition of adding number 10 in the beginning and at the end. Hence, the above number will be written in this way: 10, 6, 10, 7, 5, 1, 4, 8, 4, 10. So first pair 10, 6, second pair 6, 10, third pair 10, 7, like that. Sequence of the pair 10, 6, 6, 8. While preparing matrix, one pair is marked at a time. The matrix have rows and column. The first of the pair represents row and second number of the pair represents column. For example, in the first pair 10, 6, the number 10 represents row and the number 6 represents a column. Every pair overlaps the other pair. Total tallies of the matrix n. In the matrix n minus 1, that is one less number is marked. In the above matrix n is equal to 10, n minus 1, that is 9 will be marked. Each matrix has 100 cells. Interpretation of interaction matrix. Teacher talk ratio divided by percentage of teacher talk, TT. The tallies of first 7 categories are added and divided by the total tallies of the matrix, and hence the percentage can be calculated, TT. That is C1, accept feeling; 2, praises or encouragement; 3, accept or uses ideas of people; 4, ask questions; 5, lectures; 6, giving direction; 7, criticizing or justifying authority. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That divided by number 7 into 100. Next, indirect teacher talk ratio. Indirect teacher talk ratio C1, C2, C3, C4. That divided by number plus number into 100. The indirect teacher talk ratio C1, C2, C3, C4. C1, accept feeling; C2, praises or encouragement; C3, accepts or uses pupils' ideas. Number 4, asks questions. Next, direct teacher talk. It indicates the teacher actions restricting student participation. In this ratio, the tallies of 5th, 6th, 7 categories are added and divided by n to calculate the percentage. C5, C5 plus C6 plus C7 divided by n into 100. C5 lecturing, C6 giving direction, C7 criticizing or justifying authority. Next, pupils talk ratio or percentage of pupil talk. It indicates verbal activities of pupil in response to the teacher. That is 8th and 9th categories. 8. Pupil talk response. 9. Pupil talk initiation. So C8 plus C9 divided by n into 100. Silence or confusion ratio. C10 divided by n. C10 silence or confusion divided by 1 into 100. Next, indirect and direct ratio. That is indirect divided by direct ratio. I by D is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C4. C1 accept feeling, praises or encourages, accept or uses pupil ideas, asks questions divided by lecturing plus giving direction plus criticizing or justifying authority into 100. Advantages of Flanders interaction analysis. Number 1, it is an effective tool or instrument to measure the socio-economic climate in the classroom. It provides valuable insight into the social and emotional atmosphere of the classroom, helping educators understand and improve the learning environment. It also used for in-service teachers. It is beneficial for ongoing professional development, allowing current teachers to reflect on and enhance their classroom practices. Next, number 3, it provides feedback to the pupil teachers. It offers constructive feedback to student teachers, aiding their development and helping them refine their teaching strategies. Next, it is an objective and reliable method for observation of classroom teaching. Flanders interaction analysis provides a structured and consistent method for observing and evaluating classroom teaching, reducing subjectivity and increasing reliability. Number 5, it is mostly teacher talk oriented. It focuses on teacher talk, which can be crucial for analyzing and improving communication and instructional methods. Number 6, it is used to compare the behavior of teachers at different age levels, gender, subject, etc. It allows for comparisons of teacher behavior across different age groups, genders and subjects, providing insight into diverse teaching practices. It is much useful in team teaching and micro teaching. Flanders interaction analysis is particularly valuable in context like team teaching and micro teaching, where detailed observation and feedback are essential for improving instructional techniques. Limitations of Flanders interaction analysis. It consumes much time in preparing 10 into 10 metrics, without which interpretation is not possible. Preparing a 10 into 10 matrix for Flanders interaction analysis can be time consuming. This matrix is crucial for interpreting classroom interaction, which can be a lengthy process, potentially detracting from other aspects of research or teaching. Less attention has been paid towards pupil talk. The system may not adequately address or analyze pupil-pupil interaction or conversations, which are also important for understanding classroom dynamics. The observers have to be trained in order to code correctly. Accurate coding requires extensive training for observers. Without proper training, coding errors can occur, which might impact the reliability of the observations. Classroom interaction of pupil-pupil type is not considered here. The system may focus primarily on teacher-student interaction, potentially overlooking the significance of student-student interaction in the learning environment. The system of coding and decoding procedure very difficult and expensive. The procedure for coding and decoding data can be complex and costly, requiring significant resources and expertise. This limitation suggests that while Flanders interaction analysis is valuable for analyzing certain aspects of classroom interaction, it may need to be supplemented with other methods or tools to provide a more comprehensive view of classroom dynamics.